The movie begins with Noah, an 18-year-old girl living independently. Recently, Noah meets a charming man named Steve at a large supermarket. Steve strikes up a conversation and expresses his interest in her. He suggests they meet up and spend time together. Intrigued, Noah agrees, and they exchange phone numbers. From that day, Noah and Steve begin meeting regularly, spending more time together. Noah quickly develops feelings for Steve and shares her excitement with her best friend, Molly. Molly, however, warns her to be cautious and not trust people too easily. But Noah, blinded by her feelings, dismisses Molly's concerns without regret. One evening, Noah meets Steve again, and as the night unfolds, they go back to Steve's house, where they spend the night together. The next morning, while Steve is still asleep, Noah takes a picture of him and sends it to Molly. Molly comments on how handsome Steve is and expresses her happiness for Noah. A few days later, Steve reveals his plan to take Noah on a trip to another city. Excited by the idea, Noah eagerly agrees, as she has never traveled with someone she likes. She sends Molly pictures of the route and their destination. However, when they arrive, Noah becomes uneasy because the place is deep in the forest. Steve reassures her, calling it his beloved home and encouraging her to relax and treat it like her own. Steve offers her a glass of wine to help her unwind. But in a shocking turn of events, Noah wakes up tied to a chair in a dark room. Confused and terrified, she sees Steve standing in front of her. He calmly informs her that she cannot leave and that she now belongs to him. Steve then reveals a horrifying truth. He is a doctor who specializes in harvesting and selling human skin and meat. He explains that human skin is highly valuable, fetching over $40,000 for even a small piece, and that his clients are eager buyers of human flesh. Noah, horrified, confronts Steve, questioning how he could betray her trust. Steve coldly responds that it's his job and that she is not his first victim. As Steve leaves the room, Noah cries out in despair. From the room next door, other captives warn her to keep quiet, explaining that no one will hear her screams. They reveal another chilling detail. Steve keeps his victims alive while systematically cutting pieces of their skin to sell. Fresh skin and meat, they explain, fetch higher prices. Hearing this, Noah is left in utter shock. Meanwhile, Molly grows increasingly worried as Noah has not returned or responded to her messages. Desperate, Molly begins investigating. She uses the photos Noah sent and searches online, eventually uncovering Steve's real address. Molly discovers that Steve lives with his wife, Anne, and their children. Realizing Noah has been deceived, Molly wastes no time and heads to Steve's house. Upon arriving, Molly meets Anne and explains her suspicions. She tells Anne that her husband might be cheating and that Noah is missing after going on a trip with him. Anne, seemingly shocked, invites Molly inside to talk. As they converse, Steve suddenly enters the house. Molly, startled to see him, confronts Steve about Noah's disappearance. Steve denies knowing anyone named Noah. Suspicious, Molly tries to call Noah's phone. To her horror, the ringtone comes from Steve's pocket. This confirms her worst fears. Steve has kidnapped Noah. Before Molly can escape, Steve and Anne overpower her. She is knocked unconscious and wakes up in a room where other victims, including Noah, are being held. The movie reveals that Steve and Anne have been running this gruesome operation for years to support their family. It's now been days since Steve started to cut pieces of Noah's skin to sell, leaving her weak and in constant pain. One day, Steve invites Noah to dinner, giving her a beautiful dress to wear. Realizing her only chance of survival is to gain Steve's trust, Noah pretends to comply. She wears the dress and sits with him for dinner, where he serves her human meat. Though disgusted, Noah forces herself to eat, masking her revulsion. Steve, pleased with her cooperation, opens up to her, showing her photos and belongings of his previous victims. Noah, though horrified, keeps her composure. Night after night, Noah continues to play along, waiting for the right moment to act. One evening, she seizes her chance. During dinner, she throws a burning substance into Steve's eyes, temporarily blinding him. She locks him in a room and steals the keys to free the other captives. Among them, she finds Molly, who is also alive but weak. Noah and the other girls work together to escape the house. However, Steve manages to break out of the room and arms himself with a gun. He chases them through the woods, determined to recapture them. In a tense and chaotic pursuit, the girls fight back, using bricks and anything they can find. They manage to overpower Steve, but he refuses to stay down, forcing them to keep fighting for their lives. Finally, the girls work together to deliver a fatal blow, killing Steve. Just as they begin to feel relief, Anne arrives, armed and ready to finish what Steve started. In another fierce struggle, the girls overpower Anne, killing her as well. Despite their injuries and the trauma they endured, the girls find solace in their victory and their survival. The police arrive to secure the scene, and the girls are taken to safety. Though they are physically and emotionally scarred, they are grateful to be alive. The movie ends with Noah and Molly reflecting on their ordeal, vowing to never trust blindly again. They leave the place, determined to rebuild their lives. Dear viewers, this was all the movie Fresh 2022 was all about. Let us know your thoughts about the movie in the comments below. If you enjoyed this recap, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to stay updated on our latest videos. Until next time, stay safe and take care.